Welcome to my rebuild video. This is a Nissan Stagea NM35. It was a repairable write-off that was advertised on a Facebook page, a M35 Stagea Facebook page. The owner had apparently his wife had crashed into the crashed the car, and it had sustained some front end damage, and they weren't going to buy it back, but they had advised that there were some good parts to be salvaged on the car if there was anyone interested in pursuing that. So I obviously bid on the car, and I got the winning bid and got this thing home and started disassembling it. So this is kind of the initial video of me identifying or just pulling bits and pieces off, mainly all the damaged parts first. So yeah, pulling apart the headlight, and then I think just assessing the damage really. This project has been a bit of a labour of love and something I was working on for quite some time. It, cost me a little bit to get the car initially and buy all the pieces, but it seemed, it wasn't such a costly expense. I took my time in purchasing the parts. But yeah, I guess this is a close-up of everything. So the crash bar had a modified mount where I think the transmission oil cooler was mounted on it, and then it had a custom intercooler, and it looks as though there was like an oil cooler and a transmission fluid cooler, and that's kind of where the damage was, on the radiator support core. Quite extensive damage around the headlight where the impact had kind of pushed everything back. So I'm looking at all the bits and pieces and seeing what's salvageable. I think I could probably pull out all the loom from the headlights, at least. There was some damage on the grille there, the fiberglass grille. That was something I was really keen to fix, and obviously the damage on the front bumper. I think I just noticed that there was the parking sensors that were still intact or salvageable. I'm not even sure if they were connected. I think they weren't when I had taken possession, but they might have been already disconnected when someone had done an assessment on the front of the car to see if it was worth repairing. So I think here I was just looking at kind of the damage on the front of the bonnet there, and it had been quite impacted and pushed up a bit, so there was a bit of a gap between the panels. little bit of work I had to beat out. And I think here it's just a bit of a clip of pulling apart the grille from the bumper, from the front bumper. I actually, I didn't film it, but I recasted the fiberglass on that grille so that it, it wasn't all splintered, and then I painted it. So it was reused, despite the previous owners saying that it was probably too smashed to salvage. One of these grills are pretty sought after pieces in the Stagea community, so I really wanted to try and salvage it. It was a pretty sick custom piece. And here's me just test fitting it again, and probably just calling it a day. So another day on the job. I think I'm taking off the crash bar. Just figuring out how to take it off at least. Everything, doing this whole process was a bit of a learning curve. Like, I'd never done this kind of work on a car before, so it was all just learn as you go and watching a lot of other people do similar things with their car. You don't see many people working on Stageas on YouTube, but you learn a lot from people that have like a VQ35 or similar build, and there's a lot of them, and like a Z 350Zs or 370Zs are what you can learn from, as people probably do a lot of work on that or film a lot of work of their mods on those cars. Yeah. So there was a slight bit of damage on the crash bar. It was slightly bent, but it was still able to be reattached. So yeah, it was just kind of a bit tight to get on and off, really. Having to bend over all day doesn't do the back too much. Doesn't help the back too well. So I think here I decided to just see what worked and what didn't. So I put in a charged battery and gave a few things a test run. And obviously I just checked if some of the electrical equipment worked first. And here we go, checking the electric windows and now starting up the car. First time. So sounds pretty nice. I believe I'm just checking it out, seeing what's what. bringing the phone in for a bit of a close-up. Taking it around to the back to listen to the exhaust note. Sounds pretty beefy. And so you see the VQ25 direct injection turbo, and it looked as though it had a straight back, or a catless, straight back catless. Totally unmuffled that. The only thing was the muffler in the back, really. Some of the damage. And then I didn't know it, but I think there was the fan shroud that was pressing against the radiator. It started to leak, and so I turned the car off soon after and realised that that was something that had to be replaced as well. So here's just removing some more pieces from the car. I had to put things over the intake tubing so critters wouldn't crawl into the pipes when I had left the car there over periods of time. As you can see, there's the garden at times is in various states of maintenance or need of maintenance, so kind of gives you a rough idea of how long the car had been sitting there for. So just disconnecting the battery after giving it a bit of a test run and removing the intercooler. And I think I tried to disconnect the headlights or the water reservoir. Oh yeah, the headlight. And then I think I tried to disconnect the reservoir after that. But yeah, this is kind of just the end of part 1, and stay tuned for part 2. Obviously I'm bound by the duration restrictions at the moment until I get more followers and subscribers. So I'm keeping these videos under 15 minutes, and if you guys want to watch the next one, stay tuned. And they'll be uploaded shortly. I've pretty much got this whole thing sorted. Bye.